Hey, this is Noogie from Guardian Tales Guides, and I'm going to give you a little bit more information on expedition stuff, right? Because some of it's really complex and a lot of information. People are having more problems than I thought they would, but that's fine. I had a lot of time to look it over. So, mainly the farm, real quick, to answer your questions on the farm. On the first day, you get 10 crop tiles. The whole point of it, right, for people that are looking for progression, not decorations, is to get 25 crop tiles, which is the max. You will get 5 more crop tiles at house level 3, and you will get 10 more, which is 25, at house level 5. Now, as you can see here, the materials, you'll be able to hit house level 2 tomorrow. And then to get to house level 3, you're going to need to upgrade your storage first. And then it's going to take all your resources to upgrade your storage. And then you can upgrade to house level 3. And so maybe like the 5th day, you'll get 5 more crop tiles. And then it just keeps getting more and more, right? So you just storage house, until you finally get your house to level 5. And at that point, you're good. That's as good as it's going to get. And you can just play with decorations all day long and have a good time with that. But yeah, that's the farm. All right, so more stuff. Item management, which is kind of the most complex part. If you've spent any kind of SAM at all, you've got a lot of items and you're not sure which ones to keep and how to organize them. It's a huge pain in the ass. And I figured I'd kind of go into that. First and foremost, because I see this popping up a lot, keeping a stat is not important, right? If you know that you're going to go for the Eternal Unity set and you're going to put it to a boss monster damage kind of mod, then if you see on Eternal Unity the normal variants, like the normal rarity, and you see a max roll, then yeah, keep that. But if you see something like a max roll of like crit multiplier on an item that you're not going to do that set with, that you haven't planned out, then don't keep it. It's a waste. It's going to be relatively easy to roll stuff. If you want max stats, it's going to take a lot more resonance. But don't worry about that. That's not a big thing. And you'll notice pretty quickly that in the UI, there's no filters, right? So that's coming next patch, and we'll be able to filter on a lot more things than just this massive thing of tons and tons and tons of relics in one place. The other thing is how breakdowns work, right? So when you break down an item right now, there's no indication on what the stats are on that item. So it's kind of scary and dangerous if you actually have relics you want to keep. So the way you want to deal with that is go into your inventory and then go to the special tab, find the relic you want, and lock it. So if you find a normal relic with a +7 damage to boss monsters or a +7 PvP damage or whatever it is you're looking for, lock it. Lock it in there, and breakdown cannot actually work on it. So the main thing is what to keep, right? So like I said, you got to plan it out, right? So what I did is I knew the Eternal Unity has a crit bonus stat set, or party bonus. So I wanted to get that for my raid, which is plus damage to boss monsters, right? So I just saved those and saved any stats regarding +7 damage to boss monsters that I rolled on Eternal Unities. And then that's my go-to. I keep that. Everything else, no way. Don't need it. Just too much stuff, right? And I did the same thing for once I kind of got my items and I saw what uniques I got, what uniques I didn't. I kind of planned off of what I obtained, right? And I put 6,000 stam into this in one day, so I got to fast forward on what I could obtain. But what happens is if I know that let's say I don't even know the little chalice looking item. If I know that that's what I'm going to do with a stat bonus of defense, then I know that anything, like I'm going to make myself a Coliseum or PvP set. Just kind of the way it worked out. There could be other things that are better, but that's what I went with just because I only have so many relics, and you will have less, I'm sure, that you can kind of allocate ones for this, or like one set for this or one set for that. Since I have so many relics, I can actually like say there's this relic set is for expedition, this relic set is for PvP, and this relic set is for raiding. So that's how I planned it out, right? But basically, after you get a certain threshold, you won't need normals anymore. And anything rare or better you'll keep, and anything unique you will always keep, and you should. Because when you break down these items, I think it's like, what is it? You get 1 arcane crystal for a normal, probably 10 for a rare, and 30 on a unique. But either way, not that great. And you can only turn in 150 of them a week, arcane crystals, to get inheritance stones, which you want as many as you can, because those will be useful. And also, it's important to note that, like I said, in the inventory special tab where you see your relics, that is separate item storage. You have 800 slots of relics you can add in there. You don't ever have to delete a relic. You probably won't need to for a while, even if you're blowing stamina at it. But if you want to, you can. You can break them down, whatever. But just know that however many items you get or relics you get aren't really impacting your overall inventory storage. So that's good. Just, when it comes down to inheritance and all that stuff like that, just plan out your sets. Know what you're going to use, right? If you're going to go with that Eternal Unity crit set, you want rating damage boss monster, whatever, then, plan that out. And then if you get a nice normal one that has a really good stat, then you can push it in. So the way I found to do that is, since you can only inherit from the same type of relic, basically, if Eternal Unities, for me, I always endow them. Always. And then the little ones, right? And then if I get a good stat off of that, great. If I don't, I break it down. And that's all there is to it, right? If I get a good stat, then I'll lock it and save it for later. Or I will just break it down, because it doesn't matter. Now, why would you break down? Now, this is the key question, and it feels like a design flaw. Why would you break down why would you even endow normal ones if you don't need them anymore? And the answer is pretty simple, right? You can endow a normal one, and if you get a good stat on it, or even roll for a good stat on it, if you get a good stat, you can save it for indefinite periods of time and use it on any one of your unique relics, any one of them, right? But let's say this unique relic has offensive stats, you're only going to use it in rating, you absolutely know it. You can just re-roll that one relic over and over and over until you get the stat you want, rather than inheriting it. It's less resources that way, but you don't have the ability to take that one stat and apply it to different ones, right, later on. And that's all there is to it. Seems like a design flaw, but whatever. But that's kind of how I do that. So maybe that helps. So the next thing I want to go into is scoring versus loot threshold. I've seen this question more than any of them. How far should I go before I sweep? Like how much on the loot threshold should I go? And the answer is pretty simple. Just make sure you get the highest loot threshold, and then you can sweep. You don't need to get 330 on anything. That's just for completionism, and anytime you want to go above the loot threshold, that's just for scoring, like server relative scoring, right? Show how badass you are. That's pretty much that. So yeah, that's not that big of a deal at all. Don't even stress that. I would like to point out, though, that given that I have spent so much stam or coffee, 6K in the last 12 hours, look at my proofs, right? So my proofs show you that I've gotten 4 out of 9. So 6K stam, 4 to 9. It's not the same for everybody, but it's a pretty decent indication of it will take you a while to get those. They're not very, very fast drops. Feels like merch almost, right? And you won't be able to get that, or you won't be able to move on to the 3rd district until you get all your proofs. The other thing, and this seems like something we'll have to fix, is the relic obtainment chance, right? So in the Forge, you'll notice you can actually you can roll a relic obtain chance, and it goes up to 5% per character. So since you have 12 characters, you can essentially get 60% relic obtain chance. So the question is, does that calculate as you're sweeping? Does it calculate if that was present on the group when you set your threshold? I don't know. There's no visual indicator on the stage that a certain relic obtainment chance is present. So I'm not sure. I set my thresholds without the relic obtain chance on the first day. So maybe tomorrow, now that I have like 50% plus now relic obtain chance on my expedition set. So theoretically, maybe when I run it tomorrow, I'll be getting better relics because I'm now setting the threshold with relic obtain chance. I don't know. I have no idea. That has no basis that I can see right now, and maybe they'll show that but I think if it operates in any way like the event rifts in the past, where they show you, you do the event rift and you get a percentage bonus event rift points, right? And they'll say like you have 110% rift bonus with this group, and you can't get more bonus unless you beat it on auto with a given group, right? And then you get the rift bonus. But every time you get it, it doesn't matter what your current party is. You just sweep it because you want to obtain that relic bonus. I think it would have to be something like that. So, but we just don't have the visual indicator like we do with the event rifts. So that's that. And one last thing, the Relic Shop. This is just a point of reference. If you look at the Relic Shop on mine, right, I think I'm 6 out of 8 on these guys. Once you get golden petals, I think on the 5th one, and you get golden petals from random seed harvest. But once you get up to the 5th one, in other words, you've turned in 4, once you get to the 5th one, it starts requiring 2. The 6th one also requires 2. I don't know if 7th and 8th require 2, but it is you should always get that. There's no point saving the golden petals. Use them as fast as possible. Also up here it says purchasable. Don't know why. Does that mean we get more later on? I don't know. Not really sure. But yeah. And also over here you can see that I bought all the inherit stone, whatever they are. And the reason why I did that is because that's how I kind of allocate a lot of my gear. It's a weekly bonus, or it's a weekly limit, like any other shop item. And it costs 15 arcane crystals to buy one. So 150 arcane crystals a week, you can buy 10 inherit stones. And you should, because they're really good. And you don't really, like, I wouldn't use arcane crystals to buy a relic. And I wouldn't buy seeds with them. I would just use them on inherit stones. It makes more sense. But otherwise, hopefully that clears a lot of stuff up for you. Good luck. Hey, if you liked the video, if you liked the content, feel free to subscribe. If you didn't, that's cool too. You can also go over to guardingtalesguides.com, and I'm the creator and maintainer of it. It's got a ton of information. It'll probably help you out. Have a good one.